Welcome to the With Clarity and Purpose podcast with your host, Yanet Borrego. Each week, I bring you an inspiring person or message to empower you to live life on your terms so you can be who you want to be, do what you are meant to do, and have the life you deserve to have. We will provide you with practical and cutting-edge approaches to continue getting clarity and direction on your path, mastering your mindset, and gaining confidence to tap into your inner wisdom so you can live on purpose.
Welcome to episode number 7 of With Clarity and Purpose. And today's episode topic I am deeply excited about because I'm very passionate about this particular topic, which I call it empowered time management. There is nothing more stressful and overwhelming than feeling that you don't have control over your calendar, that you don't have control over your time, and often you say to yourself, I wish I had more time. And often we say to ourselves also, how can everyone expect me to do everything that I need to do? And the reality is that our calendars and everyone else's agendas is driving our agenda. And when you feel that you don't have control or power into defining your agenda, then you start feeling overwhelmed because you are not allowing that space to put the gas back in your tank, to refuel, rest, and recover, and truly do the things that you're passionate about and you have an intention and purpose for. Today, I am gonna open the curtains and literally I'm gonna let you know what specific technique and what specific approaches I follow to make everything happen and to prioritize what's really, really important. Now, a lot of people always tell me, Yanet, how can you do many things at the same time? How can you do so much? Today, I'm gonna reveal every step of the way that I follow in order to get there, in order to live my days with intention, and in order to drive every single minute of my day with that intention in mind. And it's going to be very systematic. I like systems, I like easy to implement approaches. So if you follow this, I promise that you're gonna start regaining control of your calendar. And not only that, you're gonna feel empowered because whenever you feel you don't have control of your time, you feel powerless. You feel like you're going through life without a why, without an intention, without a purpose. You're just letting everything drive your time, drive your agenda. And I don't want that for you. And I'm sure you don't want that for yourself. So this is going to be deeply helpful today. Now, one of the first things that I do, and you don't have to wait until the end of the year to do this. I actually did it last April this year, on April this year. One of the things that I like to do every single time is ask myself, what are the key milestones that I want to achieve for the next year? What are the key milestones that you want to achieve for the next year? And I know you don't have to wait until December, but this timing couldn't be even more perfect. December is coming up, and each year is a new opportunity to live life at your own terms. So I want you to ask to yourself, what are those key milestones that you see yourself achieving and having in the next year? And not only that, with each key milestone, I want you to be specific and I want you to assign a date to that milestone. For example, for me, one of the things I wanted to have was to launch this podcast. I have it in September. It will be actually in October. But I wrote earlier this year, by September 2021, I'll be launching my With Clarity and Purpose podcast. And all those milestones that I set for 1 year, I literally have them in front of me. I have them in my office in a big board that I see every single day. Those are the key milestones that lead my monthly, weekly, and daily goals. Okay, so I want you to do that first. What are the key milestones you want to achieve within the next year? After having those, because you have a specific dates, all of these dates will be in a specific months, of course. So what you do other than the annual planning is to do the monthly planning. So every start of the month, I erase my calendar. I have also a calendar, and I document the key milestones that I want to achieve for that specific month. For example, in September, I knew that I wanted to launch my podcast. I also knew that I wanted to work on the creation of my LLC. And I also knew that, and I'm looking at my calendar right now, that I wanted to start hosting webinars, which will start in October too. So based on that, I started to plan my weeks. So now that I have a view into my yearly goals, and I have a view into my monthly milestones, we are gonna go into the weeks, right? So every month has 4 or 5 weeks. Literally, what I would recommend you is that every Sunday, take 20 minutes of your time to plan your week. How I do it that works perfectly, every Sunday I dedicate 30 minutes and I look through the upcoming items I have that week. And from those upcoming items, I set 2 to 3 priorities to complete every single day. 2 to 3 tasks to complete every single day. Now, I want you to be mindful because sometimes your tasks or your goals may be very big picture, right? So, for example, when I was trying to create my website, that was a huge goal because I ended up creating like 4 or 5 different pages in my website. How I did it is that I divided like creating a website into 4 or 5 different goals. So today I'm gonna be focusing on creating my testimonials page. Tomorrow I'm gonna be focusing about creating my coaching overview page. And not only that, other than establishing those top 2 to 3 priorities every week, so you can plan ahead and you can proactively prioritize what is important to you, be intentional, be purposeful. I love what one of my favorite authors, Stephen Covey, says. Do not prioritize your schedule, schedule your priorities. So now that you have your annual goals, and they don't have to be a bunch, just keep it simple at first. You have your annual goals. Based on those annual goals, you plan and prioritize your monthly milestones, which are your monthly goals. And then from the monthly goals, you go to weekly. So every Sunday, just dedicate time to plan the top 2 to 3 priorities per day. Every day, I look at those priorities and I also estimate how long do I think these priorities are going to take me. For example, when I was creating my website, I estimated 3 hours for the first task, creating my coaching overview, 3 hours. And literally, I kept measuring those 3 hours. And if for some reason I couldn't finish that one task in 3 hours, I moved it to the next day and then I dedicated 2 more hours. So it is okay if you don't finish a task, but be consistent and keep dedicating some time to that task every day until you are completely done. So be intentional with those daily tasks. One technique that I love using for productivity that you may have heard of is called the Pomodoro Technique. The theory behind the Pomodoro Technique is that it is important to dedicate uninterrupted times of focus to your tasks. So the Pomodoro Technique is you doing that task in 25 minutes chunks of pure focus uninterrupted time. So what I do when I estimate the timing of my tasks, I estimate it based on Pomodoro, how many Pomodoros this will take me. For example, 1 hour, it's 2 Pomodoros, because 25 plus 25 equals 50 minutes. 2 hours equals to 4 Pomodoros. I find this very helpful because it is, if I say, it's going to take my coaching overview page 3 hours, and I start with, oh my God, this is gonna take 3 hours, it tends to be overwhelming at first. If you just focus, okay, I'm gonna take 25 minutes first. You just focus on making those 25 minutes happen, and then you focus on the next 25 minutes chunk. You get more wins and more instant satisfaction faster. So it is really important to break down those goals, and not only that, break down the estimated time that it takes. And you can definitely do that with the Pomodoro technique. Now, let me tell you, my clients have tested this and they love it. Every time they follow this approach, they feel that they are in control, and they feel that they are more empowered, and they are living life with intention. I want you to try it out. Try it out. Hey, if it doesn't work, then it's great, but at least try it out consistently. Set your goals for the next year, right? Because you gotta have a direction. You wake up every day, and what is your motivation? What is your direction? Like, for example, I woke up today and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot wait to record these 2 videos, because I want people to take control of their lives and live at their own terms so they can make their dreams happen. So that's my motivation. Another part of defining these goals is finding what is your motivation. So in this next year that you're gonna have 5, 6, 7 different goals, what is your motivation behind those goals? What is the thing that every morning when you wake up, you're gonna be like, yes, I'm gonna do this because this is the impact that I want to create? What is that thing for you? I think that's really important in order to chunk down or get more granular with the tactical items I was talking about. So some tips for you. I literally just described the how, so I want to summarize it. Important, make sure to not prioritize your schedule, but schedule your priorities, like Stephen Covey says. The first thing is like, find your motivation. So next year, what are you seeking to improve, to grow, to make an impact on? What is your big motivation? Choose a theme. It's funny because this year's theme for me, since like earlier in the year, was building the foundation. So what is the theme for this next year for you? What is the theme? Based on that theme, what are the key milestones you want to achieve within the next year? Define those. Those are your annual milestones. Based on those annual milestones, what are the things that you need to start planning and prioritizing and monitoring on a monthly basis, right? Because now that you have your annual milestones with a specific date, you know the exact month when you need to achieve them. So plan for it. Every month, beginning of the month or even ending of the previous month, look at what is next for me. What are the things that I need to start planning for? And then plan for that month, and every week on a Sunday, dedicate at least 30 minutes of defining the top 2 to 3, or sometimes I do 4, priorities for each one of the days. If you are planning and prioritizing, believe me, your life is gonna feel like it has a flow to it, it has a direction, rather than trying to go everywhere without no direction, so you end up nowhere. With this strategy, I promise you, you are gonna find a new direction in your life. So I always leave you with one question, because I think part of life is asking more questions, so you can even discover yourself even better and better and better. So the one question, what is the one productivity tip, or what is the one empowered time management tip or technique that I've given that you are gonna start implementing today? What is that for you? How is your planning and prioritization process going to look like? I cannot wait to hear from you. So please, please, please comment in the podcast, in social media, in YouTube. This will be everywhere. Please, if you really enjoyed this episode, leave a review and share it with everyone else. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening at With Clarity and Purpose. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Sharing is caring. Please share with your friends and family so we can continue building an empowered community together. I'll see you next week.